Hi, it's Dean Rogers. I'm here in Tampa, Florida at a real estate investing mastermind. Besides the information you learn, it's the people you meet and the relationships you build. So I'm going to be interviewing real estate millionaires and finding out more about them. Let's go. All right, Dean Rogers here with Christina Krause. How'd you become a millionaire?
A millionaire?
Yeah.
You think I'm only a millionaire?
No.
That's very assumptive on your part. Honestly, real estate. I started in the banking industry, and I always kind of knew I wanted to get into real estate, but I thought I had to wait until I had made the million. And eventually understood that you could get into real estate, and it could be the vehicle. I always thought it was going to be the vehicle to make me extra wealthy, not to make me wealthy. So I was working in the banking industry and got into it back in the day with Carlton Sheets. I'm telling my age, and that's okay. But got into it, no money down, back in 1999 was the first time that I bought a piece of real estate, and it was absolutely real estate that kind of like catapulted us into that space, and we're now more a service provider within that space. But started out by just buying a duplex. That was my first purchase, and I would say, gosh, within about a year, we had accumulated over $1 million in assets. Yeah,
amazing.
Yeah,
awesome. What was the one breakthrough to help you achieve success?
You know, it's really interesting that you should ask me that question that way, because I was on vacation with my family. I was in my early 20s. I always knew I wanted to get into real estate, and back in the day with infomercials, I don't even know if they do infomercials anymore, but I was watching an infomercial while I was on vacation. It was like 3 a.m. I bought it knowing I eventually wanted to do it, and it sat in the corner of my apartment for 2 years because I was just waiting. You know, I thought I had to get to a certain point before I could be ready. So at the time I was managing a department in the bank, and I was working the night shift. I was training someone to take over my position, and they said, hey, we need you to be here, but not involved at all. Bring something to read, bring something to do. So I brought the Carlton Sheets course in, the real estate course, just to have something to do. The very next day, that was the morning, because I was working the night shift, that was on that day, I found the first 2 properties that we bought, no money down. The lesson being, the full circle, you asked me what catapulted it, action. Because that thing sat in the corner of my apartment for 2 years. Yeah. Nothing was inhibiting me from doing it aside from me picking it up, consuming it, and going, let me try. That very next day is when we bought the first 2 duplexes that started everything.
Wow,
yeah.
That's incredible. What's been your biggest win?
Oh, you know what? I think the biggest win for me was we had a meteoric rise in real estate from 1999 to 2008. In 2008, we lost everything. And by everything, I mean like we had, over 200 doors of our own. I've done over 1,000 flips throughout my lifetime. But when that crash happened, it's a long story, but, we lost everything. Business bankruptcy, personal bankruptcy, everything. So my biggest win was just kind of recovering from that, and because you think it's going to be everything, everything up until that point we had touched, presumably turned to gold. We didn't know we were in an up market, and that was carrying us. But my biggest win is just kind of coming out of that and saying, what were the mistakes that I made? And by the way, it wasn't the market. It was just the fact that I didn't understand the market. I had all the indicators. I could say, oh, it was the market that took us down. Had we been better investors up until that point and more studied investors, we would have seen it coming. We just didn't. So my biggest success from that is just going, I'm never doing that again. What are the lessons that I need to learn? And then starting over from scratch. I was in my 40s, not knowing how I was going to put food on the table. My parents were helping me buy groceries and just going, I have to learn what I need to learn. I don't want to leave real estate. It's not going to kick my ass. Yeah. I will figure this out. And then eventually, rebuilding and doing it all over again, better. Just getting better.
Well, that's why you're so powerful now.
Hopefully. I mean, bankruptcy will build your muscles. That's for sure. Yeah, for sure.
What's been your biggest failure?
Honestly, I kind of intimated it before. My biggest failure was just really believing that I had, it was me that was the reason for the success. It was a up market, which I didn't even know what an up market and a down market was. And then even for years after the bankruptcy, just going, because it took so many people out, well, I mean, the market's taken me down. No, my lack of really being better, being a good business person. My biggest failure was starting out and not realizing that I was just a really good hustler, good salesperson. And real estate is amazing because you can have really big wins, and the wins are really big. So my biggest failure was just believing I was a good business person when what I really was a really good salesperson, a really good hustler, and I didn't know the first thing about business and owning a business. And when I understood that and I learned how to be a business owner, it changed the game. My biggest failure, and it resulted in my biggest loss, was not being a good business owner. And not, once I learned that lesson, I was like, okay, because if real estate goes away tomorrow, I know how to run a business. I'm a good business owner. I could give me anything. Real estate goes away. Okay, what's next? Because I know how to own a business. It has nothing to do with real estate, although I love real estate. Tell me what the next business is. I'm a good business owner now. Yeah.
Amazing. If you had a time machine, could go back to when you were just starting, what would you tell yourself?
Of course, start sooner. And don't allow your age or your lack of experience to inhibit you. But if I could go back, I would just say, don't be so arrogant as to think that this had. Yes, it has to do with you, and I think you need to believe in yourself. But you also need to make sure that you are curious about why you're winning. Don't assume it's about you. If I could go back, I would say, all of these amazing things that a lot of us get to experience and the wins that we get to experience, don't assume that is because you're amazing. You are, but figure out, ask the question why, not why did I lose, but also if I'm winning, why am I winning? Really? I mean, am I really just so unique and so amazing? Or is there a reason why I'm winning that is also a factor that I need to consider so that I don't actually drink my own Kool-Aid and think that I'm invincible and can do anything and it's because I'm this amazing person? You are an amazing person, you need to own that, but you also need to understand, like, okay, how do I leverage that wisely instead of just believing that everything I touch turns to gold?
So for those that are looking to get started in real estate, what do you think is the best way to get started in real estate investing in 2023?
So the easy answer is to go, to refer back to the conversation, just do something. Like, do it, because I could have done real estate 2 years earlier, but it sat in the corner because of all the stories that I was telling myself. And then the other thing that I would say is that it's really, really important. Yes, you need to take action, but again, I think it's really important, especially in real estate, to be a business owner, like to learn how business works too, like understand what it takes to run an actual business, and don't. When I'm speaking to younger kind of people coming up, I always tell them, don't assume that you can build a business today and you're going to wake up one day, it's going to be different. Like, well, I got to put the hard work in and I got to hustle, and you're building this business. And if the business is dependent on you right out of the gate because you believe that you need to just work hard and do that hard work, okay, that's fine. But there's no magic thing that happens. You don't wake up one day and have a business that you didn't build. Build the business that you want today. Know what your end game is. What's your outcome? What kind of business do you want to own? You better start building that today, because it doesn't just turn into that magically one day. If the business is dependent on you initially, it's going to stay dependent on you until something significant changes or something happens. It doesn't just happen, and that's how I think a lot of us wake up 10 years later and go, I am exhausted and all I really am is just a really well-paid employee, but I'm not really, you're not going to ever own a business until you become an owner of a business. If you're just working in the business, you're just an employee of the business. You have a job.
Absolutely.
Nice job, but you got a job.
Yeah. True. If you weren't doing anything in real estate, what would you be doing?
Oh, that's a loaded question. There's so many rabbit trails. Are you talking about business?
Just in general.
Probably at this point, I would, honestly, I'd be doing music. Yeah, you threw me for a curveball on that. I don't talk about it a lot, but music is my passion.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like, music is my passion. Real estate, I love it. I'm passionate about it. But at its core, like, music is what I love, love. So if take that away, and I'd probably go to that more because now I don't have to tie income to my music. I'm so passionate about it that I just want to, I want it to be my love. I don't want to have to attach money to it because it takes on a completely different meaning. So today, if I didn't have real estate or if I wasn't doing real estate, I'd be doing something in music.
Amazing. Where can people find you?
Either at the moment, it's probably best just ChristinaKrause.com. We own a direct mail company, done for you direct mail company. It's PostalImpact.com, and a VA company. It's not really a VA company. It is a VA company, but it's specific to lead follow up and specific tasks in people's businesses. That's VirtualLeadManagers.com.
Nice.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, guys, Dean Rogers again. Thank you so much for watching. If you've come to the very end of this video, then I hope you got a ton of value. For me, this is what it's all about. When you can get around other people that are thinking at higher levels, that have gone through incredible life experiences, then you're going to benefit from that as well. And just that's where the growth happens. So I hope you were inspired. I hope you search out some of these people and learn more about them. There's some incredible people that have gone through and have incredible stories. So make sure to stay in touch. You can reach me at deanrogers.com to connect more. We'll see you next time. Peace.